Okay, so this is part 2 of the colorism conversation on why colorism is not the reason why you're single. And I want to talk about that really popular YouTube channel that is anonymous and she doesn't show her face. I actually know what she looks like because back in the day, she showed her face once or twice, and they said that she stopped showing her face because men were telling her, like, you are not cute. And they gave a description of what she looked like. They said she was big. She was a bigger girl. She looked like a man in a wig. That was all of the descriptions of her. Now, why is she on this YouTube channel talking about men don't like us because of our skin complexion, when they have told you why they don't like you? Lose some weight, take the wig off, and then come back to me. But in her case, I think she's just not cute. So if you're just not cute and you're obese, like it's not colorism then. Colorism only applies. You can only blame something on your skin tone when you're a 10 out of 10. When you fit what men want in society's standards, right? Which is healthy, fit bodies. You can't have other issues that you clearly need to work on. You can't sit up here obese with a bad wig, because if a man can tell that you have a wig on, it's a bad wig. I wear U-part wigs from time to time on very rare occasions, but it is my hair texture. So even my own man, he doesn't even know when I'm wearing a wig. He can't tell the difference. That's how it should be. That's called a good hairstyle. If a man, a grown man, can look at you and know that you have on a wig, it's a bad hairstyle. That can honestly turn men off. Men care about hair. So it could be the smallest things like that that's keeping men from talking to you. Lose the weight, fix these factors, and then come to the comment section and blame everything on colorism. I bet you won't. Because if you fix those factors, if you're halfway decent looking, you don't got to look like a supermodel. You just have to look decent. Men will want you. But you see how it wasn't colorism that's keeping this YouTuber, keeping men from wanting this YouTuber or whatever. She's just not pretty. She's not aesthetically pleasing to look at. And then my thing is, that's your reality. And now you're recruiting Black women into not looking in the mirror and taking accountability on things they can work on to help their dating life. You're making them throw in the towel like you, just blame skin complexion because that's what feels the best to your ego. It hurts to understand that maybe you're not aesthetically pleasing. It hurts to realize you're big. It feels much better to come together as a group and blame it on the skin complexion. Sure, maybe it's true that more Black women are single compared to their lighter skin counterparts. But in my opinion, if that is the case, I would like to argue that it is because more dark-skinned women walk around with a bad attitude because they think that their skin complexion is holding them back, so it's not forcing them to work on any other parts about their self. So then overall, they've just given up on their self, blame colorism. And yeah, then you can find more dark-skinned women are single. More dark-skinned women aren't getting married. Because in order to get the ring, it requires you to be at a certain level in life. And nobody is talking about income. I'm talking about weight-wise, personality-wise, character-wise. You can't walk around with a bad attitude, a bad personality, unfriendly, obese, with a bad wig, and then expect men to choose you. And I don't like this colorism conversation because, once again, it doesn't force Black women to worry about the bigger issues that they have going on. I live in a predominantly Black neighborhood, and I see the way they look and act. It's very unpleasant. I can honestly say, as a man, I see why they wouldn't want to date us. Unfortunately, the lighter skinned women just aren't walking around with this mentality. They're more upbeat, they're more happy, they're more positive. They haven't given up on themselves. So maybe that's why they're getting chosen more. But that channel has convinced every dark-skinned woman that no man is going to want them because of their skin tone, so it doesn't force them to work on themselves or other factors about themselves, making them as a whole unappealing to men because they're not working on themselves. Do you see the domino effect here and why that channel is so toxic to Black women? We have bigger issues to worry about. Why is 3 out of 4 Black women obese? Why is there a statistic like that? That basically means when you take 4 random Black women off the street and line them up, 3 of them are going to be obese or overweight. These are the picks that men have to pick from. They're not good picks. If 3 out of 4 of us are obese and men are saying they don't like bigger girls, take notes. Don't hate the game, adapt to it. Learn to lose the weight. Learn what men like. And then come back to me. Take all of my tips and advice and come back to me and let's see if you're going to have the same conversation about colorism and how it's hindering your dating life. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Because that was never the issue to begin with. You had bigger problems, literally, to worry about. It just reminds me of this one YouTuber where same conversation. I'm just casually talking and she says, as dark-skinned women, we can't listen to light-skinned women for relationship advice. And I said, oh my goodness, stop with this colorism conversation. If you're pretty, you're pretty. If you're pretty, you're pretty. That triggered her because, once again, Black women have combative personalities, and that's one of the reasons that's keeping them single. So what does she do? Instead of sitting and trying to actually have a conversation with someone that she might disagree with and try to understand their perspective and where they're coming from, she goes straight into arguing mode, defensive mode. And so I click her profile picture after she goes on this colorism rant, right? She's not cute. And I'm talking about okay, she had acne and she was a well-grown woman, right? I know the different types of acne. I know when it's acne when you've been doing drugs. I know when it's teenage acne. I know when it's genetics. And I know when it's I have not washed my face regularly acne. She had I don't wash my face acne. I know this because I have studied what dermatologists say about skin. I've studied it. I've learned anatomy. I understand the layers of skin. I understand what causes acne. I understand hormonal acne. I am an acne expert. If you see me in person, my skin is flawless. Coming from somebody that used to struggle with acne. She had I don't wash my face acne with straight European hair, talking about its colorism. First of all, wash your face, take the straight hair out of your head and wear your natural texture and lose some weight. She looked like she might have been a little overweight. And then let's have this conversation. But you have bigger problems to worry about. In her case, it was very clear that whatever was hindering her, if she was, not receiving a good outcome from men, those were the issues she needed to work on. And that is what I mean. Look at that YouTuber's subscribers. 9 times out of 10, they have this look like I've given up on myself. Because you know what? It's my skin complexion. There is nothing else I can do about it in order to improve my dating life. That is so toxic. That's the last thing that Black women need. We need to get it together. We need to get the weight in check. Take the European wigs off. Take the eyelashes off. Fine. Keep the wigs, but wear a U-part wig where your real hair is out in the front and it looks believable. Men still don't like that, but that's a start, right? Let's take baby steps before we get on here and say that men don't want us because we're dark skinned. And I think that's all I have to say for part 2. I think I've pretty much summed it up. Oh, last thing I wanted to say. Who is in history the number one supermodel that comes to mind? Naomi Campbell. What complexion is she? Dark skinned. The only person that is holding you back is yourself. If you are experiencing negative results in your dating life, you are the problem, not your skin color. If Naomi Campbell, a dark-skinned woman who is beautiful and gorgeous, is the number one supermodel, in my opinion, on earth in history, what is your excuse? You can't sit up here and say that it's your skin complexion. And I'm done with this video.